Hello, everyone. We're
Hey.
back. Episode 9.
Wow.
The PLE
9.
Council. Five of us this time. We were meant to be 6. One person dropped off last minute, but he'll be there next time, hopefully. But we've got a newcomer, Andreas. He was in the chat last time. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Before we get started.
Sure thing. I'm super happy to be here. This is the first live on my channel, so I'm stoked to be here with all you guys. Great guys in the whole community, so I'm really honored to be around you guys. But I'm on Etsy Print on Demand seller mainly. I also do Amazon Merchant on Demand. And in less than 3 years, I've done over $1 million on Etsy, and I've done about $240,000 in revenue on Amazon Merch as a side gig from Etsy. And just to preface that too, I live in the EU, so I'm from Sweden too. So yeah,
that's a good side gig.
Mm-hmm.
And funny thing is, we were chatting about this last time on the live stream. I think that we've also got the same birthday.
Really,
me and Andreas.
Nice.
Which sometimes falls onto Black Friday, which is quite cool. I think it was literally Black Friday last year.
I think
Monday or something like that. Yeah. And Andreas is fairly new to YouTube. I think he started this year, right?
I started in February this year.
But he's got a really good channel. Very underrated. Only 2,000 subscribers so far, so definitely check him out. His link will be in the description.
Just I'll share something there too, actually, with Andreas. For anyone that wants to know more about Andreas, sorry, Andreas, we're just plugging you hard. We did an interview on Built Online podcast, episode 75, where we dove really deep into all of Andreas' story and stuff too. So if anybody's interested in hearing kind of more outside of this council today, definitely check that out for sure. You get to hear behind the scenes, Andreas.
Yeah, I've actually never told a lot of the stuff that I told on the interview with you when we go about all the nitty gritty stuff about the real journey with this. So if anyone is interested in that stuff, then that's in that podcast only.
I'll send you the link too, Phil, if you want to link to it if you want.
Yeah, for sure. Do that.
Yeah, I'll try and find the link. Also, I was supposed to be on the Coffee with Everbee yesterday, but I had to drop off last minute because I came down with the flu. That's why if I sound more weird than usual, it's because I had a sore throat. I still kind of do. But I'll be on the Coffee with Everbee probably in January. But just in case anyone saw a post about it and then it didn't happen, that's why. But yeah, if you want to hear more about Andreas' story, I'll find that link. What episode was it? Again,
75, and I just linked to it in the private chat, Phil. It won't let me add it in the comments, so maybe if you want to drop that in there.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah.
It'll work. Okay.
Let us know where you're all watching from. We've got some messages coming in. Good morning from California. You've got a new subscriber already. Look.
Wow.
Carla's back. What's up, Carla?
Woo. Awesome.
Carla was on the podcast too recently. Just a cool story. Super cool story.
I think I remember her saying she should start a YouTube channel. Or has she already started one? No way. Alabama.
Orlando. Nice. I was just there. Nice.
Yeah, you were at Universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
That's fun. Yeah, I love it.
4D. T-shirts?
Did I see a lot of what? T-shirts?
Yeah. I saw it at Disney.
Yeah, I took a picture of that. In fact, my latest video is me taking. I showed a lot of T-shirts from some Orlando, and then I did some T-shirts based off of the T-shirts I took pictures of in Orlando. So. Awesome. Yeah.
So just as a quick overview, this would probably be a shorter live stream because I've got to go earlier today. So we won't do as many shop reviews, but we'll chat a bit about Black Friday. Okay. And Andreas wanted to talk about Etsy ads being more expensive this year. And then we'll do some quick Q&As as usual. And then, we'll see if we can get a couple of shop reviews in. And we'll also give it a bunch of book recommendations. Cassie kind of started that last time.
Nice.
I thought it was a cool idea. So if anyone's got book recommendations. We'll go over that at the end. Maybe you, Cody, would have to do it early if you've got to drop off. But yeah, I think the first thing we'll talk about, since it's coming up soon, is Black Friday. Whoops, that wasn't intended. There we go. So, has anyone got any specific tips of how to drive more sales on Black Friday? It could be Amazon merch, it could be for Etsy, Shopify. It doesn't really matter the platform.
Yeah, I'll share. Go ahead, Juno, if you want to go first.
No, you first.
Okay. Black Friday. Well, we all know that that's where everybody's ready to spend money. They've given themselves permission to spend money in their head. Their families giving them permission to spend money. So just understand that it will usually it should 2x, 3x, sometimes 4x the volume, not necessarily of your shop, but just overall spending in the world is going to happen like this. So big opportunity. It doesn't equal always that for you and your shop. It just depends on how well you execute. And so I would say email marketing is massive when it comes to like Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that stuff, which you kind of clump all into the same thing. And no emails. There's no such thing as too many emails to your customers, to your users in the Black Friday, and to your audience during the Black Friday season. Like they're expecting your email. They want more of your emails. You need to remind them again, and you need to remind them again and again and again and again, all the way up until the last minute of the Black Friday sale. So just be super. It's your one time you really, really get permission to be aggressive in email marketing. So highly recommend to do that.
Are you doing anything specific on Amazon merch, Juna? Because I know we can't like marketing.
I do Amazon ads. I try to post more on social media and stuff, but yeah, I need to do more email marketing, like Cody said. Like I have it, I'm just not using it wisely. So I'm gonna try that this year to try and push more on with emails, because I have it with Shopify, but I could put links on there to other shops as well. So
one thing I'm going to do ahead of Black Friday for Amazon is, when you've got products that I've already sold and you reprice them, you take the price down, you can get that discount badge, like the old price is crossed out and it shows you the discount. You can do that in bulk with Producta, or you can do it with this new Chrome extension called Merch Rex. So you don't have to manually go in and do it for all of your old products. So I think that's probably a good thing for Black Friday, because I feel like a lot of people, unless they see that discount badge, they're not going to add it to their cart. Like, they are looking for deals and deals only. Obviously that's not everyone, but I think that's a good idea to consider, especially like on the day, on the 29th. But yeah, what do the Etsy sellers think?
So I'll just echo Cody, and we're pretty aggressive as far as what we do. But an email starting on Friday, and those will go out every day till Monday. So reminding them every day. And then also with the Facebook groups, since I teach them to start their Facebook groups, same time that they're starting their email list, we post probably 3 times a day in those groups. And what I will do is since you can only @sign everybody one time, I'll have all of the moderators take turns, so that way everybody who has their notifications on are getting multiple reminders. Because having done this now 5 years in a row, there is always someone at the end who's just like, I missed the sale. You only put one post out, or you only did one email. So now it's just like, Cody's right. It's not overkill. So just make sure you have them all scheduled. We have them all scheduled and ready to go out. And then I will say with Etsy too, a big thing that we've tested is not to just do like the sale from Friday ending on Monday. We start ours every 24 hours so that it's counting down each day, because it makes them be like, oh, I'm not going to just hold out till the end of Monday. So we start it.
Wow.
So those are my biggest tips.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
So from my end, like I've done a big Black Friday prep this year. So I actually put all of my listings at break-even pricing. And just to preface that, break-even pricing is basically $2 to $4 gross margin. But I put that at the beginning of October, since I noticed that I started to lose some rank. And from October until the November 17th, I basically had all my listings at that margin. I usually gross about 30 to 40%, but now it was just $2 to $4. And this is only to increase rank to the listings themselves. So it's a bit too, it's probably a bit too late now to do it this year. But a big Black Friday tip that I would certainly recommend is like way beforehand, putting all of the listings at a break-even price to garner more rank, so that when the Black Friday rush hits, you can just get you're on the top of the search pages. Because on Etsy, in my experience at least, everything has been about rank. And so yeah, that'd be my biggest tip for Black Friday.
Awesome tip. Yeah, I completely agree. I'll say one more thing too. For if you're in a situation where you don't want to necessarily lose money, or maybe you can't afford to lose money on every product, but you still want to participate in Black Friday, and there's another way to position your products to where you don't have to actually just make $1, $2 profit. Like, it's not all about just discounting what your current products are. You can like kind of build an offer. And it's really common for Black Friday and like these big holiday pushes is you can actually just stack other products into one product and then discount the entire total volume of the total price of that product or the bundle of products, and then sell that price. That way it gives a very big high perceived value to the buyer. It makes them feel like they're getting a deal, and you also get what you want, which is like you want a higher average order value or higher, dollar amount of profit. And like everybody wins in that situation. And that's the way that I would look at all things, but especially with Black Friday. It's not all about just you getting a sale, them getting a deal. It's about like, how do you create a win and a win and a win? Like for everybody, everybody's happy here. Like you made money, they got a great deal, and you can rinse and repeat this. So that's the way I kind of view stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Like a big bundle offer in a sense, where you've got multiple products in one listing.
Yeah, very fun when it has digital products. I know Bailey can speak to that more, but digital products are very easy to bundle versus print on demand. I know it's a little bit trickier, but the idea is like add value to the people.
Bundling is super like it's such a great thing with digital products, and it's not really, it hasn't really been explored in print on demand on Etsy at least. So that's a huge way that you could basically stand out from the competition and make some really good value propositions to the market for sure.
What about, I wonder what you guys think about this. What about offering something as a bonus to your Black Friday bundle that's only available during Black Friday? Like it's an additional thing that people get for free, but they only get this during Black Friday. So it's like almost like a scarcity thing of, if I don't buy during the Black Friday sale, I can't buy this afterwards. Like it's gone. Yeah. So you're nodding, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, like we never know what's going to hit. My only concern would be, it's not a bad thing. It's more just like my only thought is like, are you only going to run it on Etsy for like 7 days? And then, so like it's work to do it. And so therefore it's almost like, I like it if you bundle it, if you kind of do that strategy with email marketing, because you're not competing with, and it's worth it. And you can kind of like keep that offer. But it still makes sense to do it, to try it. If somebody has bandwidth, then they should for sure try it. I love bonuses just in general. Like bonuses are awesome in general. And that's what I'm saying is like, it's not only for Black Friday. It's like, why don't we always give a bonus when you purchase this pet parent sweatshirt saying like happy dad cat or something? Why not include a digital download as a bonus? The saying like a cat care calendar, right? As a free bonus when you get when you purchase that print on demand item. That's where I would like, my head goes automatically. And if you want to throw Black Friday on there, even better.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really wish Amazon and TeePublic and Redbubble did more things to help with Black Friday sales. I mean, I know on their side they do like discounts and stuff, but as far as the seller and those POD sites a lot harder to do those kinds of things. But Etsy and Shopify and those kinds of things, you actually can do these, what's being talked about. So
Carla mentioned, she said you can also offer tiered discounts. Yeah, encourage higher spending by offering bigger discounts for larger purchases. Yep, easy wins for sure. We overlook stuff like this, but like, yeah, it's right. That's like textbook stuff. We should for sure do that.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of these things are
so cool.
Not really possible on Amazon and TeePublic and that stuff, unfortunately. Yeah. But if you've got your own store, this is definitely awesome.
Yeah,
or Etsy, of course. Can you set that up on Etsy where you've got multiple discounts depending on how much you spend?
Bailey, we can, right?
Try that.
Yeah, I think this is more probably for digital products, right, Bailey?
Yeah, you can. Like if they just actually released that maybe a few months ago, where you can do like if you buy 3, you'll get a certain thing, and you can actually pick, bundled item things. So I don't necessarily, if you're going to do it, I say if you already have all of your digitals, and you're organized, try like the whole shop bundle thing, just because that is so popular, and just price it down a little bit less than your normal whole shop bundle. And if you want to, Black Friday, put it on the listing or whatever, just to draw attention to it. But those are just so big right now. It doesn't matter what type of digital products, that whole shop bundle thing. And if you've, like I said, been organized and keep your stuff readily able to just, drop a link or in your PDF like that, then it's just a big game changer, because these people who are normally used to seeing $2 to $3 profit margin, but you sell your whole shop for $75. They're just so happy once you get 2 or 3 sales a day, and that's all that they need is 2 or 3 sales a day, because it's just so much higher. So definitely add a sticker to your listing maybe, and then drop it down a little bit more than what your normal whole shop bundle sale price would be, and I bet you'll see a big spike, just because, like what you said, there's just a ton more people on there shopping anyway. They have the permission, and so they are going to think it's just so much more valuable, which it is so much more valuable to get, all of the designs versus, picking your top 20 and then spending pretty much close to the same as what these whole shop bundles are priced at anyway.
Awesome. So unless anyone's got specific questions about Black Friday, which you can still ask afterwards, we'll move on to Etsy ads briefly. Have you seen any questions specifically for that?
Not for Etsy ads. I tried to answer one about merch on demand and like a way to scale that.
Yeah, we'll bring that up after. I think we'll chat about Etsy ads briefly, because me and Andreas talked about this the other day. So you've been saying that the ad spend on Etsy has gone up dramatically this year, right? And you wanted to chat about this.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure how it is on your end, Bailey. I'm not sure if you use Etsy ads. Do you do that?
I used to spend a ton on them all last year. We turned them off this year, but about a month ago, I turned them back on for specific case study reasons. So they are running right now, but different budget things, but it's definitely more expensive.
Yeah, I actually counted on this, and this is why I also wanted to bring it up, because if there's any Etsy sellers out there doing Etsy right now, this is peak times, which means that peak ad spend times 2. But just to also say, last year, the ad spend has increased by 50%. And just to preface that, I've spent about $12,300. I've spent exactly $12,348 just now when I'm looking at my Etsy ads. And that's just only this month. But last year, I would have spent about $6K in ads. So I've lost about $6K in profit here because of the ad spend. So yeah, it's a huge loss for me, at least, when doing Etsy ads this way. And I'll probably turn my ads off when Black Friday hits, because it's just insane how much it costs at the moment.
Oh, so you stop them on the 29th?
Yeah, I think I'll do that for sure. I mean, I'm making profit on it for sure, But I mean, I mean, 6K in profit as a loss is just way too much. The CPC is the cost per click, basically how much it costs from when someone clicks the actual ad listing, has gone up by 50%. And since you can't control any of this stuff like you can do on Amazon, you just basically, yeah, you handed a turd basically, and you just have to deal with it. So I think it's really
there. I have a question there, if you don't mind. So is this something that Etsy, because I didn't see this documentation come out from Etsy, did they mention that they're increasing, or is it just something that you're noticing on your accounts, that like your cost per click is going up?
So other friends have noticed the same thing as well, that are doing POD on Etsy. So they haven't really mentioned it, but in all the honesty, when like they have had fee increases every single year, and like I think it was last year or something like that, they had the transaction fee, I think, increased from 5 to 6.5%. So they've always done something to just increase revenue on their end. And they haven't done it at this, like they did it this year too with launching the Etsy Insider thing, which is like the equivalent of Amazon Prime, I think. But yeah, I think it was in middle to late August that they started increasing their CPC basically, because it's basically since then that my ad spend has just dramatically increased, and it's really evident now just because we're in the peak sales times.
Yeah.
I
think it's a good point. Like it's interesting. It kind of brings you to the point of the idea of owning your audience is very, very important. Now it doesn't have to be your only strategy. It's not, but everyone listening to this, if they only sell on Etsy or they only sell on Amazon merch, cool. But think of it as like a sales channel. It is not like a super, super reliable business yet. And the idea is that turn that traffic from the sales channel into a subscriber of some sort, whether it's email subscriber, or I mean, honestly, you should own their email. That's the idea. And you need to be able to capture that email so that way you're not so reliant on Etsy ads. So if Etsy ads increases by 50%, let's say next year again, your business isn't dead. Like you can always send email marketing. You can do other things as well. So everyone should be thinking about this as the idea is to use these sales channels to build my audience, which builds my business. And I think that's kind of broken a little bit in our ecosystem. And so I don't know if you guys would agree with this fully, but I know Bailey, me and you have had talks about stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a downside to Amazon Merch where you don't get access to the emails. But Amazon Merch has got many advantages over running a Shopify store, for example. But a massive downside is that you don't have access to the customers. That's a big deal. So yeah, it's definitely something worth considering. Like if you already have a lot of designs and you know what you're doing with POD, especially trying to look down the route of capturing customers, or whether you have an Etsy shop and you can capture some emails there, or whether you want to open a Shopify store and try that out, I think it's definitely worth it. Me and June are actually started to do that with Chris Heckman behind the scenes. He's helping us out with that. But yeah, I definitely agree. The kind of email list aspect missing on Amazon Merch, it's kind of a plan B thing to fall back on that you don't have with that platform, right? And with Etsy,
yeah, which means that you just need to don't stop Amazon. I wouldn't say to anybody stop Amazon Merch or stop Etsy just because you don't get the email list from the buyer. It's more just or the email from the buyer. It's just also consider you need to be having this engine running to build your email list in the background. So that way you get 100 emails, 200 emails, 1,000 emails, 10,000 emails. Eventually, you send 10,000 emails, you can create $10,000 in a matter of a day sometimes. So email list is very powerful. And then when you go to sell that business, you actually have assets to sell that business if you want to sell one day. So
and also just to add on what Cody's saying too, on Etsy, if you have a big shop there and it's not going the way you want to because Etsy made some recent changes, because this is basically the downside with both Amazon Merch and with Etsy. There's always another person that kind of controls you a bit, because they can just say, like on Amazon, they can just decrease the royalties and then you're making less money. On Etsy, just like they did now, they can increase their ad spend, they can increase their fees. But the good thing with Etsy is that you can actually download the data from Etsy and plug that into a Shopify shop and then get like you can use the information there, apply it to a Shopify shop, and then in theory, at least, I haven't done this myself, but you should be able to have your whole Etsy shop, but on Shopify with the equivalent images, reviews for the listing, and so forth. Because diversification in and of itself is just so important in this whole line of business. Because if one thing falls, like for instance, for me, I do YouTube now. That's one income source. But if that one falls, I have Etsy. If Etsy falls, I have Amazon merch. But being able to have a couple ones that you just draw some money from each and every month, it's just a super powerful thing to stay stable, in my opinion.
Yeah. I noticed that in COVID, Amazon just stopped. And I was like, man, if it was just, if all I had was Amazon, and I had a 9-to-5 at that time, but if all my thing was just Amazon, and Amazon just stopped, and I made zero on 1 month, because it wasn't selling at all. So that was kind of scary. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what June is talking about, this was it April 2020? I think it was April. They closed the American facilities that print the shirts to help with, I think they were trying to help delivery of like medicine or whatever, and then it was crazy. It's literally everyone's sales went to zero for an entire month.
No sales at all
in the US. So if you didn't have a backup, you have no income basically. And
that's the idea. Like everyone needs to be building their own brand. Like at the end of the day, you need to be building your own store at some point. Like you don't need to do it right away. If you're like brand new, don't do it. But like get your feet wet and just like kind of be thinking about, okay, how am I going to position this into a niche brand or a niche store of some sort where I can own my audience and control my own destiny? That's what it's about. Like, what are we all chasing? Freedom. We all want freedom. We want freedom of optionality. We want freedom of time, freedom of finances, freedom of hang out with whoever we want, and freedom from some platform saying you're suspended. Like, fuck.
Check it out.
Cuss on here. Like it can happen in a second. And so the idea is that always trying to position yourself to where you have more leverage in the market and you have more freedom. That's the way I view it.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. With just like one caveat to that, I'm a big Hormozi fan, and he says one up to like 7 figures or at minimum like 6 figures. It's one platform, one avatar, one product. So I think it's the way that we can apply that thinking to Etsy, which I really resonate with, is that you can master the art of POD if you just focus on one thing. Because Amazon merch is really different from Etsy, for instance, and Shopify is really different from Etsy. But if you do all three at the same time, it's really hard to get the fundamentals from one platform set. But if you only focus on one, then you can learn the principles and the fundamentals that you can then apply to Shopify. And once you hit like the bracket that you want to see, at least this is how I think about it. At least when I hit the brackets that I want to see and the goals that I want to achieve, then I can diversify. But it's really important to do that once you're at a point where it's overflowing, so to speak, with the orders that you're getting.
Yeah, don't spread yourself too thin when you're starting out, I would say.
Yeah.
Big mistake I see with newcomers to this business is either they start on too many platforms right away, or they get too many tools right away, and they have like 10 subscriptions to tools that they don't know how to use.
Yeah.
Very common.
Or they watch too many channels straight away and get like different information from different people. And I understand it. I'm not saying that that's, that's a bad thing necessarily. I get where you're coming from. You're trying to learn as much as quickly, or trying to get as many tools that can help you out as quickly as possible. But if you're focusing on a small amount of things, trying to, hone in on those and get really good at those first, is going to help you out way better in the long run. Like trying to go, what's that saying? Never mind. I forgot the saying.
Yeah. I think the idea is to maybe go wide with your information at first, but then eventually you need to go deep. Like you need to go really deep into a specific platform, to a specific skill set, to a specific niche, and like obsess over that thing for like as long as it takes in order for you to be like, wow, I'm like really, really good at this. And I can now I can kind of pick my head up and say, I'm going to go over here now and I'm going to do the same thing because it's going to give me more leverage. But I think you're right. Like, it takes a lot of self-awareness to understand when that time is. Not doing it at the beginning is very, very important, because you'll give up. It's just, we've all done it. We've all done it. We've all started like a ton of drop shipping stores at one time, and like a bunch of stuff at different times. Like, we've all had these experiences.
We've all tried things that failed for sure many times, or got distracted by stuff that didn't end up working out. It's very natural. That's why we're saying, don't do too many things at once.
Can I elaborate on that one more? I was at the gym last night, and I was there's a sauna at this gym, so I'm like hanging out in the sauna, and I'm talking to this guy, and super cool guy, talking about business a little bit somehow, and he's just like, what do you do, and all this stuff, and eventually he's talking about what he does, and he's like, oh, I do this. He runs an agency, right? I'm like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And then he immediately goes into, I also do this other thing, and I also have this other thing over here too, and this other thing too that I haven't like launched yet, but like it's gonna be awesome. And then like this other thing, there's literally 3 or 4 things after the main thing, and I immediately in my head I said, "There's no way you're making it, not until you fix this." And I'm sorry to say that, but it's so true. I see this so often, that we get shiny thing syndrome, and we have no discipline as humans. And we start touching everything, and then we have a whole bunch of skeletons in the closet that like have never made it out. And but then if you take that conversation and pretend that I'm talking to one of you guys, and like, hey, what do you do? You'll probably say a couple things, but you'll have one main thing, and the other things kind of overlap with the other things. Right? They kind of like feed in, they compound onto each other. That's a different discussion. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, if that's helpful.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% for sure.
Yeah, me too.
I also waited a while before starting a YouTube channel. Like I did POD for a few years before starting a channel. And I know sometimes it's kind of more relatable if you're seeing someone on YouTube who's new to POD and you're seeing their results and what they're learning as a beginner, right? That's more relatable for other beginners. But at the same time, you might start out with POD and think, oh, well, YouTube is another income stream for POD sellers. Let's start that as well. And again, you're spreading yourself too thin. So I would recommend waiting a little bit with that.
I would agree. Yeah, I started YouTube after, POD started. I kind of put it on autopilot, not totally on autopilot, but I knew what I was doing at that point.
When did you start YouTube?
Both, I started YouTube. I pushed YouTube hard in 2020 during the pandemic. Actually, right around the time where I got a 0 month.
All right.
And I was like, you know what?
What's that? Why?
It's partly why, but I also wanted to help people, and I had more time, and I was working from home, and there's a lot of other reasons.
A lot of factors. Okay. Yeah. Well, there's one positive that came out of it. We've got Juna's YouTube channel now. Thanks to that. Right, we'll go through some questions. Someone asked, how are we getting the emails now that we can't on Everbee?
Yeah, good question. You may take that. Etsy, obviously, we all know that they changed the rules where they don't share any emails with anyone, including Everbee, anymore. There's some hacky ways to do this that I cannot recommend personally, but you can figure that stuff out on your own if you'd like. But I wouldn't endorse it, and I do not recommend it. However, there's ways to do that. But the correct way is to look at it this way: Etsy's customers are Etsy's customers. They're not your customers. Etsy. This is how Etsy views this. So somebody buying from your Etsy shop are not your customers. Now you think they are, and they're buying from you, and it feels like they are, but they're actually not from Etsy's point of view. This is why email lists is so important. So what I would recommend is you start to educate yourself. I'm not saying this isn't like a snap your fingers and it's done, on how to build your own list separate from Etsy. Now, how do you do this? You can use other tools. On Biased Towards Everbee, of course, we built Everbee email, and there's like a landing page builder, and there's a QR code generator, and you can literally like put QR codes inside of your images. You can put a subscriber landing page inside of your Etsy shop, to where you can incentivize people to actually opt into your email list, and then you communicate with them there. So we have that integration with Etsy. where you like a QR code and it creates an image for you and all this stuff. Maybe Bailey can talk to that more, but and then separate from that, build an email list separate from Etsy completely, which is it's a strategy, but basically go to Facebook ads, create an ad, do a giveaway, or offer some sort of big discounts, drive people to that landing page through Everbee email. They opt in, they put their email in, and then you hit them with automation emails like, hey, welcome to my store. This is email number 2, email number 3. And by the way, hey, here's a big offer discount for you. And then you continue to build a relationship with you over there. If you run ads, target 75 cents per email on average that you get.
Quick question there for anyone who doesn't really know much about email. Do you have like templates for those kind of automations already? Or if not, like how would people set them up? You already have
Totally. Yeah, so there's going to be 4 welcome emails that like everyone should always have with any email list. So like welcome 1, welcome 2, welcome 3, welcome 4. Like no matter what, when Phil subscribes to Cody.com, you're immediately going to get, hey Phil, welcome to Cody.com, my shop. Here's a little bit about me, and like here's where you can learn something else. And then next day you're going to get another email, another email, another email. Those are already preloaded into Everbee email, so they're all ready for you. So at the bare minimum, you have like most default things that you need. And then you can continue to get fancier as you just learn more. And you should get a pretty good open rate. So for example, if Phil subscribes to the welcome series, to the email list, you'll probably get 20 to 30%, 40% open rate on that first email. That's 40% of your people like are viewing that email for you. And then you can offer them something and you can start to communicate, and you can see if you get 1,000 of these people, like this starts to turn into money.
Money on
Bailey's good at money on autopilot, exactly. And that you control too. Bailey, I'm curious what your opinion is, Bailey. You do a lot of email marketing.
So the big advantage that we have as digital sellers on Etsy is compared to the POD people is with POD, they're not going to be able to download something immediately. They're already downloading things from us. So what we always have, and I agree with Cody, we only do it they have to opt in, but since they're already downloading things, it's a simple link just to, hey, do you want 3 more free designs, or do you want to get this how-to guide for the specific crafting file that they're actually purchasing for well too. And it's just so simple because of course they want more free designs of what they just bought. So it's pretty much a no-brainer for us to grow our email list via Etsy once they've made the purchase anyway, which is how I did grow up the majority of my list. But then I also teach them to do Pinterest works so well because you can just put up 5 pins and the ad spend on that is so cheap. Like if you want to just really blow up your email list over there, just by offering free sublimation designs, or if you're an SVG crafter designer, digital file maker, or any of them. So we do Pinterest, and then we also do Facebook too, but I don't teach Facebook ads because I don't know how to do them, but we do them through the groups. So that works really well too, because if your group is engaged on Facebook, which for digital designs over on Facebook, it's super popular because there's so many how-to crafting guide groups. So if your group is super engaged, it'll get recommended to all of those other groups. And if you have your email opt-in right at the first part, like pinned in your group page, we get lots of email opt-ins who've never even found us from Etsy. They're just finding us from another engaged group. So those are the 3 main ways that we grow ours. But again, it's a little bit easier because we're not POD or physical items. It was harder when I was doing physical items to grow that, but it eventually worked.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I never thought about that. What about, I know you've got to leave early, Cody. When does your Black Friday sales start for Everbee?
Ooh, it's already started pretty much now. It hasn't quite opened yet, but like everybody can like opt in to that link. Do you actually already have that link live, Phil, or do you want me to get that to you? Black Friday, you could like get into it, and that way you make sure you know when it actually hits.
I'll have a quick look. I've got a list of the Black Friday deals. I think I've got a link.
I should know that too off the top of my head. I wasn't ready for that.
No, if you've got a specific link, I probably don't have it.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
So it's meant to go live today, basically. And what is your Black Friday offer, just for people that are watching that are interested in it?
Oh, it's It's a super discounted rate on what, like our annual plan. So essentially, if you're committed to your e-commerce business, if you're committed to changing your life this year and next 2025, then and you're already planning on buying Everbee, this is the chance to actually, you should just buy it because I think it's 50% off actually the entire year. And so if you're really committed, you're going to need Everbee, or you're going to need other tools for a year, right? It takes longer than just 1 month to change your business, change your life. So it just gives you access for the entire year for a huge discount.
I think I heard it's $120 for a year or something like that.
Correct. Yeah, over 50%.
Yep. And it's usually over 200.
Yeah, it's definitely $239 for the year for the growth plan.
Yeah.
So you should have everything there.
Wow. And that ends on Black Friday on the 29th.
Man, you're testing me. I don't know the dates.
You should know it.
I know.
No, it's fine. But yeah. All right, let's get back.
But yeah, get it. If you're considering Everbee, I mean, just take advantage of us and take advantage of the deal. Like, I mean, you don't have to. Like, if you don't feel like you want to buy it, I never try to push anyone to do anything. It's just if you're already planning on it.
Yeah, I mean, I literally asked you. You didn't even bring this up. I knew you had a sale. I just didn't know when it starts. Then we've got some more questions right here. This one's for Andreas, I think. Why would you turn off a profitable ad? That doesn't make sense from an economics perspective.
So for me, it's basically because the CPC is doubled on Etsy, and I can't control like on just a preface, like on Amazon Merch. If my ROAS is too high, I can increase the bids to basically get more sales and find the sweet spot of my ROAS. And if the ROAS is too low, I can lower the bid to ensure that I hit the target ROAS I want to. The problem with Etsy is it's just a button that says toggle on. And Etsy ads has been a big, major contributor to my progress. But if the cost of the ads is just too high, then you make some profit for sure. But relative to what you can make organically, it doesn't really make sense, because let's say that you make 1,000 orders with ads, and then you make 500 orders, for instance, without ads. You would probably make more without the Etsy ads with 500 orders compared to doing 1,000 orders with Etsy ads, just because at this specific time, Etsy ads CPC cost is just so gosh darn high at the moment. So you could definitely like make more, but you like how I see this whole business, for me at least, I don't really want to, at least when it comes to my Etsy shop, I don't really want to. Yeah, I tried hiring people, and it's a huge it's a big commitment. You have to teach someone. It takes months to teach someone all the routines, how to do everything correct, and you have to like double check that to make sure that they learn, to make sure that they progress, but also just to make sure that the orders are correct. And I don't want to sit by my computer like last year. I did 150 to 300 orders a day. I had help, but that's when I realized that I should have teach this person like a year in advance how to actually make this, because it just doubled my actual effort when doing orders. Because she made a lot of mistakes, which is honestly my own fault. It's not her fault at all. She was a great worker, and she did great. She did a great job overall. It was just naive of me to think that she could learn in just a few months things that I've done like for years now. And so if I basically do more orders, that means that I have to basically sit at my computer more because people message you, people. You also
get custom orders as well, right? Like
exactly, custom orders. But even if you don't do custom orders, at a certain point, you kind of notice that there's always stuff to do. Like people want to cancel when they make an order, and lots of messages to respond to. The more orders you get, the more messages to respond to.
Where's my parcel? It says it already arrived.
All that stuff. So what I mean is that for this kind of, it's more of a lifestyle business for me, at least this. So if I can make more money by selling less, I'd rather do that, because that means less work for me and more profit for me, compared to doing more work with less profit. A long-winded answer, but I hope that answered your question. If not, please let me know in the chat, and I'll do better.
Have you ever tried any tools to track your ad spend? Because I know Hannah Gardner, for example, she's got a tool now that's meant to make it easier to figure out if your ads are profitable. Maybe that's something worth for you trying out because you do spend a lot.
Yeah, I've heard of her, like Profit Tree, I think it's called, right? I've heard of it, but I've not tried it, and mainly because I just figured, like with any, Cody can probably attest to this better than me, but with when you make a software, like I've grown up with a lot of people that do software and stuff like that. Usually you release something called an MVP, a minimum viable product. So something that basically works to find some customers to see if the demand is there. But usually there are like a lot of kinks with software like that, and they for a year usually, at least in my experience, I've just seen that it usually takes a year to figure out like the basic stuff to get it to a really great point. At least I think so. But so that's why I'm hesitant to go with Profit Tree. Plus, I also live in Sweden, so everything is in Swedish kroner, which is different from USD. And I'm not sure if exchange rates is applicable within the software and stuff too. But like the idea is still great. So I think just in theory, I'm just thinking that if she has more time, she'll probably make a super good product. But it's just too early for me, at least, to just dive into it. I think, at least. But what do you think, Cody?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't tried Profit Tree yet, but yeah, I think that the interesting thing about Etsy specifically, and I don't know the tool, but I'm sure Hannah and the team will build a great product. Etsy does not share, like they don't have an API for Etsy ad spend, which makes it very, very challenging to like make it, at least when everybody's looked at like tools like this, we haven't done it mostly because of Etsy's not revealing this data to us, to where we can't really do anything meaningful with it without totally guessing. Now there's ways to like do it and like hack it together for us if we wanted to like kind of make it work. We could, but it wouldn't be super scalable across like hundreds of thousands of users. So that's why we've kind of like not done it. I'm not sure how their solution is, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works out.
Yeah.
Can we, Phil, do you mind, Marlene, just to close out the Everbee Black Friday thing, just to answer her question? Marlene above.
Yeah. Wait, I just saw that. Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Thanks, Marlene, for the business, by the way. Happy to see you. Okay, so I just confirmed with Kate from our team. Everbee Black Friday starts November 29th and it ends December 3rd. And I will drop the link here. You asked, is the discount offer for new subscribers only? The answer is no. It's for all subscribers and non-subscribers. So like whatever, if let's say that you're already on the annual plan, this will tack on another year at the discounted rate. So you'll actually have like, you're gonna still get all the value and just an extended time. So it's available for every single person. So we purposely did that because we don't want to exclude our loyal customers that we already have. We want to like add more value to everybody. So that was the idea. So thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. That's pretty interesting. Because most businesses wouldn't really allow the discount for people that are already in the subscription model. Nice. All right. So 29th, Friday 29th is when it starts.
Sorry for the 3 posts. I'm not sure why it's posting 3 times. No idea.
I think it's StreamYard or something did that.
Yeah, I don't even see it on the YouTube side, but we also had someone asking about Amazon merch.
Yeah. I tried to answer.
You've been answering, yeah. So the initial question was how to get out of tier 10 guaranteed ways.
Guaranteed is buy your own 10 shirts and give them away as gifts. That's guaranteed. You get out.
A side note to that is that doesn't mean if you buy 10 shirts you will instantly get tiered
right
up.
It can take a while to tier up,
especially right now. I don't know if you've heard of anyone doing it, but I haven't heard of any tier ups for probably close to half.
Yeah, Amazon's not. They used to, as soon as you hit that threshold, like within a few days, they would tier you up, but they've been slacking. I'm sure they're really busy right now too, but yeah, I haven't.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I've seen a lot of screenshots recently in my server. People who are like tier 6,000 with 16,000 sales or something, like way above the target, and they've not been tiered up. So it's not like if anyone's out there waiting and wondering why, like it's the same for everyone right now. hopefully
I guess that's
they will come soon.
it's guaranteed to get when you buy your 10 that you hit the threshold, but it doesn't guarantee you tier up. Yeah.
And if you're from a different country and if you can't deliver to your own address, one method that someone shared before is because this is something people struggle with.
That's why he asked it again, because this person that asked the question lived in a country that they don't ship to.
So one tip that I heard once is that you can, I forgot what it's called, but basically there's charities where you can order or send them clothing, right? And then if those charities are in the US, you can find their address online and you can kind of donate Amazon merch shirts to them.
That's a cool idea.
That's kind of a way to get around that. Those are some guaranteed ways.
Yeah.
And
but as far as knowing a design that will guarantee a sale, that's really hard to do. Like if we all knew that answer, that we could make a design that will guarantee a sale, that's what we're all trying to do. And sometimes it takes 100 designs to figure that out or more.
Oh yeah, that was one of his comments, right? I'll bring that up. Please suggest a secret design that will work 100%. Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah. You get lucky, but I can't, even with all my years of design, I can't guarantee that this is going to sell. I can make the nicest looking design with the right topic and everything and hope that it's going to sell, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to sell.
Yeah, you can have the best design in the world. That doesn't guarantee it will sell, unfortunately. Right. There was some more questions. Is it risky uploading or bulk uploading on print on demand? Depends on the platform, I would say. Like Redbubble and TeePublic used to be fine with it, but are not anymore, right, Gina?
Yeah, I don't. Well, here's the thing about Redbubble and TeePublic is they're really trying not to have, because they put those tiers in the categories. I think it's called categories on one and tiers on another, but they've specifically said they don't want a mass amount of like scaled designs and just average designs. They want, so that's why I think some people may be getting bad. I haven't heard this from them, but I would imagine that they don't want a whole bunch of like 60 designs that all look similar just with a word change or a graphic change and spamming someone's account. So,
right, Cody's got to jump off. Thanks,
Cody.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate you guys. It's super fun.
Yeah,
nice to see you next time.
And have a nice Black Friday.
All right, you too. Yes, enjoy. Let's go.
Bye bye. On the topic of bulk uploading, though. Now the question.
I definitely would do it for Shopify, though.
Yeah. If you're trying to upload a lot to Shopify, I would definitely recommend it. We've been doing that with my designs. And another thing, if like on Amazon merch, I've never heard it being a problem. Like I know of a lot of people that do it, and I've never ever heard someone getting into trouble for it. And same with Etsy. I know they have some sort of limits where you can't publish that many things or only that many things per hour. But with my designs and with Flying Upload, I've definitely bulk uploaded to Etsy as well. I never had an issue there.
Just to add in on the Etsy part there, when I started, I did a stupid thing, and I basically did 500 listings a month for several months. So I have thousands and thousands of listings that are just expired because they weren't that good. But it taught me the ropes of Etsy. But basically, I put up, I think it was 60 to 70 listings in a day. And they suspended my shop for like a day or two because they thought I was a bot, I think. And then it just got fixed.
Was that in the very beginning, or was that like a few months in?
Yeah, like I did this from the very get. So this was probably like a few months, maybe like 1 or 2 months in, something like that.
Okay, all right.
So I wouldn't go. I never went past 50. I never went past 60 listings in a day when I did this. So if you're gonna bulk upload, just remember to just stay downwards of 60 listings in a day. I'd recommend 50 just to be safe. If you want to go the ham route, but I wouldn't recommend that because it doesn't work super good. At least not in my experience.
Okay. Well, to reassure anyone who's done that, who's wanted to do that, I have often uploaded hundreds of designs a day, or 100, 200, and been fine with it. What about you, Bailey? Because you were nodding as well about bulk uploading.
I have as well, definitely over 100 before in a day, and never have had an issue. However, that account that I've always done that on is 6-year-old account. So I would
Maybe,
assume a new account trying to do that might flag something.
Yeah, that's a good point. It probably was that.
Could be part of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would also caution, I know both of us, Philip and I, talk about AI, but I would also caution not to just run AI designs and just bulk upload those. Those designs still need to look like t-shirt designs, right? You can't just have AI crank out a bunch of designs and throw it up there. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality too. So
yeah, for sure.
Don't just put 100 designs that will never sell and hope that you're going to get a sale, because that's not a good strategy.
Yeah, I did that in the very beginning, like just going ham at it, and it got me to like I hit like a ceiling of like 5 to 10K in revenue, and I was just stuck there for quite some time. But that was just because what I did what Juna just mentioned, and just doing a lot of designs without actually reflecting on what's working and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Reflection is an essential part to actually grow the business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's one of those aspects of print on demand that you can't have as a beginner, I think, and people don't realize. It's like once you've done it for a year or two and you've really stuck to it, that's when things can become easier, because you get a lot of feedback as to which designs that you've uploaded haven't sold and which ones have sold, and you just do more of this and less of that, and that becomes easier and easier with time. Do you use My Designs as well for the digital uploads, or like bulk uploading digital stuff, or what do you use, Bailey?
I don't use it for the bulk uploading part, but I use it all for AI. All my AI designs are usually out of there at this point. And now that I finally did Curtis's GPT, actually made a video about it yesterday, and put it up, I was really surprised I took one prompt and we scaled it, and it really did change the prompt so much that every single output that we got when we put it into DALL-E 3 was drastically different than, so that they were all usable. So I think that it's going to be such a time saver for my people who do Tumblr reps specifically, because it was really rare that any of them even messed up on the text even, and then some of them that didn't even have text, they were still usable because they were just good designs. So I think that scaling that prompt first and then being able to do it all at once is really helpful. I do have lots of people who use My Designs to push it over. I just don't, because the VA is not trained on it, and it's a time thing of training them to do that. So right now we just still use Vela, but it's still bulk uploading, so we're still doing it that way.
Okay. I didn't really know any other ways to do bulk uploading for digital files, with the whole setup of the downloadable link and all that stuff. But there is other options. What is it called, did you say?
Yeah, the app that I've used for a good 2 years. And
say that again.
I just
got out.
Oh, Vela, VELA.
Okay. Vela.
And it's so easy because we literally just drag and drop everything and then push upload. And so it's super. And then, of course, we can change anything. Like, say we need to fix the main 3 listing photos or something and rearrange them, or add a new download because we changed the link or something. I don't know. We just do everything in bulk in it.
Oh.
I can add in onto what Bailey's saying. I love Vela too. I mainly use it to change prices, but just for bulk edits, it's such a time saver.
Yes.
That's cool. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a super great software for sure.
Oh yeah, because like especially with what he's saying about the bulk edit part, like when we needed to go and change every single description, like even though you can kind of do that in Etsy, it would have been still a time suck. And so we just went in and did it all at one time. It was all just done. So things like the description, or we do change our pricing week to week depending on if it's on sale. So we use it for that. It takes a minute. So it's very useful.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Etsy can be really buggy as well with like bulk changes. Like sometimes I want to change the price. I select a lot of stuff, click edit price, and nothing happens. Like it's just very unreliable, I find. But let's see.
But just on top of that thing with Amazon merch, I'm just really like, this is for my own sake, so I hope that's okay. But Juna and Philip, like, do you do bulk uploads to not to print on demand, but to Amazon merch?
I don't, but not because I'm scared of it, but just because I'm lazy. Yes. I haven't used it with my 9-to-5, but now that I should probably start. Does it work? Does my designs work with Amazon? No, right?
You can through a backdoor with Merch Titans.
Oh, Merch Titans.
So you can connect to Merch Titans. I prefer Flying Upload though to Merch Titans personally. And yeah, I started doing that last year. So I did upload, I think, up to 12 was it 12,000 or maybe 15,000, 20,000. I did upload a lot myself manually.
Yeah.
Before I started the whole upload automation thing on Amazon. I did already do it with Flying Upload on the other platforms, but it's been so useful. Like for example, when the tumblers went live, I just used Flying Upload to go back into all of my old listings and enable tumblers.
Wow!
And I've got over 10,000 tumblers live, and I've not really had to do anything.
You did that through Flying Upload?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. You could do that. I've done it kind of like Juna. I don't know if you've done the Tumblr thing like me, but I've just gone in manually and just.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. You too, yeah.
Every sale that I get, I look. Do I have a Tumblr for that yet? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's super manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Flying Upload sounds like a good option.
With Flying, you can upload new designs, obviously. But you can also make edits to old listings, which is really handy. You can also do this in in a safer way, where you first of all you just upload to t-shirts in all markets, and then once those have gone live, like because of rejections, you might be scared to upload with automation.
Yeah.
Once those have gone live, then you can edit the listing and enable all the other products, all with Flying Upload. Nice. So it makes it all really seamless and kind of lets you focus more on designing and research rather than spending time uploading.
Got a lot of Flying Upload questions now.
But like, how do you, if you do like bulk uploads, how do you do like the SEO? Wouldn't the SEO need to be super simplified in order to do that? Because I've tried Flying Upload for like a week, but it was just the SEO part. I couldn't be really nitty gritty about it. I could just I had to simplify that a ton in order to make it work.
If you want to upload thousands of designs, it has to be more simplified. It depends really on the type of design. So a big part of my designs are scaled, right? Scalable designs, where you can do the listings with spreadsheets quite effectively and then import that data into Flying Upload. You just have variable words that get swapped out, kind of like Bailey was saying with the prompts. You have one base prompt and then a few keywords get swapped out by the AI. In this case, it's a spreadsheet that helps you swap out and make the listing applicable for different niches. But if there's, let's say I've got 30 designs for one specific niche, then I would usually have the same bullet points, but just change the title to match the design.
But do you find that you get more sales using if you could compare like uploading manually, so uploading in bulk, do you get more sales by uploading manually compared to in bulk? Given that you have to make some sacrifices with SEO, for instance.
No, for sure. Like the scalable designs, they don't have as high of a potential to sell than if you sat down and you focused more on each listing individually, and you created, specific designs for a niche. That's definitely a like a trade-off. But then again, it's a lot easier to fill out 40,000 slots. So it's kind of what do you want to do more? And I really enjoy automating these things and then being able to just push out, like fill out my uploads every single day. So yeah, I definitely think like out of 100 scalable designs, the likelihood that 20% of them will sell is very, very low, compared to if you sit down and actually specifically design, do the listing for, one niche for 100 designs. Yeah, it's very likely that then 20% will sell.
Yeah. On a tangent, I do like that you can go back and change the colors now that you couldn't before.
Oh yeah, they've changed that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
really
doing that. Yeah.
Which is really nice because sometimes I have black by default and then I had black text on a black shirt. I'm like, oh man, and then that's the main color that shows because that's what Amazon does. And like, oh, that was a waste.
Yeah, for anyone who missed that, now you can go to your old listings and you can deselect colors.
And you can pick as many colors as you want. That's an older one, but you can.
Yeah, it used to be
pick
limited
more than
to
10 colors now if you want to.
Yeah,
Which is like-
I saw that Juna made a super good video about this, if I'm not incorrect, where he just goes through how to do this stuff with changing colors and everything like that. So that's on Juna's channel.
Oh, thanks, man.
One thing though with the new colors that's kind of annoying, I think they usually show up as the primary in the
Do
thumbnail.
they? I'm not sure about that.
I could be wrong, but Productor usually tells you which of the colors will be shown in the thumbnail. Whenever I select like the new pink or the new green or whatever,
That's interesting.
they always show before black even, and
Wow.
I'd rather not.
Me too. Rather it be black.
But yeah, we're super excited about the fact that you can deselect colors on Amazon Merch, even though that's like the most basic function.
I really hope the next change is I can select my primary color because that'd be cool if you can do that.
Let's start a petition.
Yeah.
I think that's always been so weird with Amazon that you have, like, if you have black, it's automatically black.
Yeah.
Even though if it's like I know that the I think it's called slate, like the grayish color. That one looks super good with some designs, but you can't like choose that stuff, which is weird.
Andreas, what is your price strategy on Amazon Merch?
So I tried a lot of strategies overall with Amazon Merch, but the only thing that really worked was doing what I did on Etsy on Amazon. So when I do, for instance, when I list something, I list everything at a 0 royalty. And this is paired with my Etsy ad strategy too, but I list them at a 0 royalty until they hit 10 sales.
10 sales. Wow.
And when they are in the, so this has to be paired with an Etsy ad strategy if you're in tier 1000. If you're not in tier 1000, and like me, like you live abroad from the US and you only sell to the US, that's my only market that I focus on Amazon Merch, then just listing everything at a break-even price will definitely like increase volume of sales. But if you're in tier 1000 and do ads, I think it's really important to just pair it with an Amazon ads funnel, like doing a lottery campaign that Cameron Scott from the Merch Art channel talks about. I've made a video on that on my channel too. But basically having that for all listings that hasn't sold even once. And then once they hit 1 sale, you graduate them to a warm-ups campaign. Once they hit 10 sales, you graduate them to a hot campaign. And once they hit 25 sales, they go to your hero campaign. But having like a funnel to just narrow down to your best sellers and to just make them better sellers, so to speak, has been my go-to way to do it as passively as possible, because I don't really look at my Amazon ads that much, but still being able to make, because I'm like, I don't have that many designs up, but I still like, and I do like 1 to 5 minutes of work every day on it, but really like low effort, but I'm still like making $1,500 to $3,000 in royalties every month from it.
Nice.
So yeah, that would be the long-winded answer, but basically break-even pricing if there are new listings, and then pairing that with an pairing that with an Amazon ad strategy would be my go-to way to get them to get ranked and so forth. Once they hit 10 sales, I gotta add that too. I add a $7 royalty, for instance, on my the max royalty on sweatshirts, since they not changed it, and then I think it was like $14 on hoodies in royalty when that was enabled, but the max royalty on sweatshirts and hoodies, and then like $7 in royalties on t-shirts once they hit 10 sales.
Like $7 on t-shirts.
Yep, I earned $7 per t-shirt on so yeah, and then
so what is that, a $22.99 or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, you can. I'm a big believer in just pricing high and selling low, because you make more profits with less sales. But the more sales you then get, the more you basically have more money to spend on acquisition, like Etsy on Amazon ads and stuff like that. So I'm a big believer in just pricing high once you have hit a certain bracket, like 10 sales.
That's interesting. Are you going to lower that for Black Friday so it gets a discount badge, or you just leave it?
No, I just my main focus is always Etsy, since that's like the thing that gives me 90% of my income. So Amazon ads, it's always like been on the back end. If I'm gonna focus more on Amazon ads, on Amazon merch next year, I think. And because I know that like this time of year, like DC, like everything just gets so much more expensive. So it actually doesn't sell that hugely much during like Q4. I sell kind of regularly, just because the cost for the Amazon ads needs to be maintained better. And since I have made it in a way that's really passive, I would have needed to focus on it more to make the most out of my listings.
I just saw a bunch of questions about the tumblers and flying upload. So, do you have a bulk uploader video for Amazon merch? So I have one that shows different methods of uploading to Amazon merch in bulk, which I'll just leave a link to in the chat now.
Nice.
So this is bulk upload to merch, and then there was another one follow up right here. On Tumblr, did flying upload duplicate the image and all that?
The two sides. Yeah.
And when y'all are doing new listings, do you do Tumblrs with them or separate so it has its own brand? So I haven't really done many like individual or separate Tumblr listings. I would still do it in one. And yes, flying upload does duplicate the image onto the other side.
That's nice.
You don't have to do any of the resizing yourself. It just takes your t-shirt design and puts it on both sides. And then here someone was asking, wait a minute, I can use flying upload to enable Tumblrs on all my current designs at once. You can't click a button and do it at once to all of your listings. It does still take some work to, if you've never used flying upload before, you would have to download listings with Productor and then import them into flying upload. And unfortunately, Productor is not the most reliable tool, at least anymore. And I think you can only do it with like 150 listings at once. Otherwise, Productor freezes. That's what it's done for me anyway. But it's a case of downloading the listings from Productor, importing into flying upload, just enabling Tumblrs in flying upload, which you can do in bulk to all listings, and then you hit upload, and that's it.
Wow. That's pretty slick.
And I've got a video on this as well. I'll just put in the chat for anyone who didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm going to need that link too. I got to try that.
So this one right here is flying upload Tumblrs, and flying upload, by the way, started their sale today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they started a Black Friday sale today.
Nice.
There we go. I think that's all the Tumblr questions done.
I'm not seeing that many. Well, I don't have 10,000 tumblers. Are you seeing Tumblr sales right now with Q4? I've only seen a handful. It's not like going crazy, but
yeah. I mean, considering it's 10,000 tumblers, it's not crazy sales yet. But compared to all the other product types, like your tote bags, phone cases,
right?
Tumblers are doing way better for me than those. I think I'm about to get. I'm about to pass 200.
Wow.
200 Tumblr sales.
Nice.
Which just doesn't sound fantastic considering the amount of products, but I've not really done much work. I've just let Flying upload a name of them.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And most of them are very, very brand new listings. So I'm hoping that with time, they will become my second best-selling product if it carries on like this.
Wow.
All right, what else have we got? We'll probably only do like a couple more questions,
Yeah,
and then
you only got like 15 minutes, don't you?
yeah, and then we'll chat about some book recommendations briefly, and then we'll have to jump off. So yeah, Tumblr only lottery campaign. I've set up a few of those, a few individual Tumblr lottery campaigns with like 1,000 tumblers each.
Wow.
Those have been working quite well. Oh, here's an interesting one for you, Andreas. Would a $7 t-shirt profit after 10 sales work for children designs as well?
For sure. So I'm even thinking of increasing to a bigger, because I've seen that like brands like Disney and stuff like that are using like $24.99 for their shirts. So I think you can even bump $22.99 to $24 at maximum. So at least this is how I do things. Price it low to get rank, and then increase the price a lot to gain a lot of profit from few sales. But yeah, as I mentioned, like in the comment, I believe a lot in simplicity. I want to do it's the same thing for everything to make my life easy. So I do all designs, even if there are kids designs, I do the same thing. Once they hit 10 sales, I add the profit that I want from the shirt, so to speak.
Actually, one of my best sellers is aimed at kids, mostly sales for kids, and it's priced at $22.99.
Nice.
I have found though that in the UK, kids designs do better at a lower price. Whenever I used to price them to $19.99, which isn't possible anymore, but whenever I used to do that, they would stop selling. Like people, I think, are used to cheaper kids clothing in the UK because there's no tax on kids clothing here, and therefore a lot of it is very cheap.
Yeah, the highest you can go in the UK is $16.99, isn't it? For the t-shirts?
$17.49. Yeah, but I've been setting
so
most of mine at $16.99 now.
Oh, that's probably why, because I have the 99 cents, so you can't go $17.99.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's $17.49 in the UK. It's $19.99 in Germany, and then it's $19.49 in Italy, France, and Spain. Like $19.49. What sort of max is that?
I know. That's wild.
And then, yeah, meanwhile in the US and Japan, you can still do whatever price you want, almost. Right. Another quick Amazon question: is there a faster way to write descriptions for each design? Do any of you know a way there rather than doing it one at a time? Is that possible, do you think?
One at a time. I mean, if you have scaled designs, you could reuse the description, but if they're all different designs, I don't.
Yeah, if they're true, like individual designs, yes, you could technically do it with AI.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a very SEO optimized listing in that case. At least in my opinion, the AIs are not good enough yet to give you like a good listing. They'll use a lot of filler words and not a lot of like related keywords, usually, especially for Amazon merch listings. I've not found one that does a good job. Like the My Designs one, I think does a good job for the keywords and the titles. Like it actually looks like Etsy listings in a lot of cases. This is probably not going to be based on search volume, but at least it has a decent structure. Whereas the ones that I've seen for Amazon merch, yeah, usually they're not the greatest, in my opinion. But yeah, scalable designs are fairly easy to do, like a fast subscription description for.
Yeah, for sure.
Or do you know any tools that can do it for Amazon merch, like in bulk? No. Okay. All right. Favorite business books or business related. If anyone's got any recommendations, I can guess yours, Andreas. Why don't you start off? You already kind of gave a teaser before, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So a big one for me. There are several ones in different categories, but for this type of stuff with POD, and especially Etsy, I'd recommend $100 Million Offers from Alex Hormozi. Yeah, I read that book back to back 4 times and implemented almost everything that he talked about into my Etsy store, and that basically really improved my shop. So, but it can be hard to grasp the concepts, but that book contains so much value. So, yeah, that's the one for me when it comes to business.
What about $100 Million Leads?
It's good, but it's a bit more like when it comes to POD, like all we do on Etsy is mainly the offer. And on Amazon Merch, we can incorporate some of that concept of the offer, but Amazon controls the gist of it, since we can't control like a lot of stuff with Amazon Merch. With Leads is super good too. But for this type of business, I think $100 Million Offers applies a bit more
applicable. Yeah, makes sense for sure. What about you, Juno?
I just finished reading the Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal, which was really good. I don't know. I guess it's kind of business related. You're trying to do the thing that's fun for you, and then because you're doing the thing that you love, you feel good about it, and you're more productive and that kind of thing. I'm currently reading. This isn't a business book, but The Happiness Equation. It's old, an older book, but I was like, well, Feel Good Productivity. And then I saw this at the bookstore, and like happiness, they're kind of similar. So, not a business book, not really related to business, but I mean, still happiness is a good thing.
Yeah, I think the productivity one by Ali is probably a good one, because it is quite a big part of succeeding with any business, really, like being productive.
Yeah.
I think you can be really good at certain things or have a lot of talent, but if you don't get the work done, it's going to be tough to succeed. What about you, Bailey?
He took mine. I'm not through it though, but I have it back right there. It's funny. Both of the ones I'm reading right now are both YouTubers. So the other one is The Art of Focus by Dan Koe. So they're both actually productivity focused type books. So that should say what I'm trying to read right now.
What was
but
wait?
Not
so
done.
what was
Not done with either yet.
What was the second?
Oh, everyone's asking about the title, so we'll have to go through it again.
The second one. The second one is The Art of Focus by Dan Koe. He's also a big YouTuber. And then the Ali book, not finished with that one yet, but both are about productivity, focus, working, doing what you love. Dan's is a little bit more, I feel like probably more business oriented about, a one person type business and applying your focus and productivity into that.
Okay. So I'm putting all the names in the chat. We've got The Art of Focus by Dan Koe, Ali Abdaal, Feel Good Productivity. Andreas was talking about Alex
Hormozi. Yeah, good one. I gotta read that. He's gonna be a YouTuber now too, so.
Yeah, he's humongously big on YouTube now. Yeah.
One of his many side gigs.
So basically, all of these are YouTuber books. Oh damn.
What you got,
I'll
Philip?
put that in the chat. And wait, before I say mine, I lose track. What was the happy book that you were reading?
Oh, this is not a YouTuber, so I broke the.
You broke the pattern.
Well, he has a YouTube channel, but he's not like a big YouTuber. So the Happiness Equation. There's Neil Ostrak.
Yeah.
It's an older book.
Rich.
Yeah, he did a TED Talk about it recently, which is not recently when he did the book, but I think it was 2018. So that's how old this book is.
I would. I feel terrible for not mentioning Atomic Habits.
Yes, that's one of my favorites. That's a cool one.
Yeah, that's such a good one. Yeah, again, it's more about being productive, but a lot of things are very applicable to print on demand, like his plateau of latent potential, or the valley of disappointment. Part of that, very applicable to POD. Your output or your results are not linear to your inputs, the work you're putting in, especially at the beginning. Yeah, Atomic Habits is really good for anyone who's starting out, who's struggling with like putting in the work but not really seeing the results, not really seeing sales yet, or if you're struggling with being productive.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% for sure.
And trying to be more productive, like what does it take to build a habit to make it
very actionable?
Yeah,
a lot of actionable advice.
Like the relationship you have with your environment, how that actually affects productivity. That is a big thing in that book, I think. Plus how he talks about systems as well. That made a huge impact on me.
Which is why I have a notepad and a calendar like right on my desk, so I can write those things down and make sure I keep a good habit and all of that. So.
Nice.
Yeah, Atomic Habits, James Clear. And another really good one is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
That's right.
I think Junior's mentioned this as well before in the video. It's kind of a mixture of different things. Productivity is in there, but it's about, one part of it is about like self-development, and the other half of it is more about working well with other people, in conjunction with other people. And it's an amazing book. Like if you actually followed the 7 habits all the time, like religiously, it's a pretty good formula, I'd say, for success in any sort of field, like not just print on demand.
There's one book that I'd love to mention if there's any more time for it.
Yeah, sure.
It's made such. Yeah, it's actually 2 books in the combination of them, but they made such a hugely it's an insane impact on me as a person, not as a business person, but just on overall human being, and that's the Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and then When the Body Says No by Gabor Mate.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
That last one talks about stress and how that affects that can be the trigger during a prolonged like time of chronic stress. That can be the inception of like big diseases like ALS and stuff like that. But it just gives you perspective on the things that actually matter and how to actually treat like life and the meaning of it, and so to speak. But those 2 go hand in hand together, in my opinion. So yeah.
What was the second one?
When the Body Says No by Gabor Mate. Gabor Mate is the psychologist that's all over YouTube.
Oh, nice.
He's a guy that he was born during the Second World War as a Jew during very stressful times, and he felt the stress of the family at that time, and that created like a path for him in life, so to speak. But yeah, those 2 are insanely good.
We got some other good ones.
The suggestion is The One Thing by...
I've seen that book. I haven't read it. I don't know if I read it. Maybe an audiobook. I've seen that one.
Another great book that I really enjoyed, which is super old but still very very relevant, I would say, is I'm going to jinx the name now. How to win friends and influence people.
Oh yeah, I read that recently. That one's awesome.
It is, isn't it? It's very easy to read as well. Like it's short stories and very short what they call chapters.
Yeah,
By
I mean,
Dale
it's just
Carnegie.
the gist of it was just so good that the only thing that you can do. No, maybe I'm mixing this up with. I think it's like some Carnegie guy.
Dale Carnegie.
It is. Yeah, it is.
He's got a lot of books, so maybe you're just thinking
Is
of
it
a
this
different
one?
one.
How to like influence people or something like that by him?
How to win friends and influence people.
Yeah, okay, then it's that one that I heard. The gist of that is just that you can just give positive stuff. I thought that was so good. You can only like influence people by giving positive feedback, so to speak.
There's like a ton of different rules in it. Not rules, but like a ton of different points and advice points. I ended up listening to it again on Audible after reading it because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, I think I read it on my flight to
30 principles.
Japan, I think.
You post a list of the books.
Hoping these books have audio versions.
Yes.
Yeah, most of them do. I prefer listening as well, to be honest, because I'm a very slow reader. But you do take them in a lot better if you're reading, I'd say.
Yeah. I only do Audible myself, so all my books that I mentioned are audiobooks.
We've just I've been putting all the names in the chat, so if you scroll up a little bit, there's a list of all the books that we mentioned pretty much.
I'll try and copy it and post it on my group and stuff too, just for everybody.
And the how to win friends and influence people, it's not even necessarily like just for people who want to get friends. It's a lot about, you know, how to interact with people effectively in any kind of situation. How to not be a dick. post a list.
That's the title for your new book.
Yeah. Actually, it's a good idea. Post a list in a channel, like maybe like a free download of like book recommendations. I've never seen that, but that might be something to add.
I was just gonna put it in either a post on my my Facebook group and also a post on the community post for YouTube. You could do that.
And you could add like an Amazon tracking link for 1% commission.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was just going to give it for free, but now that you mention,
it's not really worth the effort anymore though, because you literally get like 1 cent per sale. But yeah, that concludes the live stream for today.
Nice.
Thanks to everyone who joined.
This is cool.
I wonder if some of you will get these books. Maybe there'll be Black Friday deal as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, report
well,
back.
I definitely got more books to read now for the beginning of the year. So.
Report back to us if you try any of them.
Do a book club.
The shop review. Oh yeah, shop reviews. We don't really have time for, and there was also not many submissions. So we'll do more next time. I'm sorry about that, but. Yeah, just resubmit your shops. The people that did it this time, resubmit them next week. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to all of you for coming on. And yeah, we'll see you in a couple of weeks probably.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye. But have a good Black Friday.
Oh yeah, have a good Black Friday.
Like top sale days.
For sure.